Welcome to the Green Up Academy podcast with Alex Kirby, where we focus on helping you level up your green industry business. Whether it's marketing, finance, employees, or strategy, we talk about everything on this show to help you apply it to your business and change your family and company's future for decades to come. Here's your host, Alex Kirby.
What's going on, everybody? Alex here from the Green Up Academy podcast. Thank you so much for spending some time listening with us today, where we talk about how to level up your lawn and landscape business or anything else. We talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about finance, marketing, sales. We talk about how to build a team, how to handle bad customers. Anything that you can think about on this podcast when it comes to how to make your business better in the green industry. That's what we're here to do. We want to level it up. Good to see you guys. If you're a new listener, we welcome you. My name is Alex Kirby. For those that do not know, I've been in the lawn and landscape industry 8 years now. This is my 8th year. I recently sold my company about 7 months ago, but I still am very involved with the Green Up Academy, with consulting, a lot of things like that. So really enjoy the green industry. It changed my life forever, and I want to see it change yours. So that's why we do this podcast. If you guys don't know about the Green Up Academy, it is an online learning platform for courses, coaching, and community. So if you guys are interested in that, we are starting a new, what we call grow groups. It's our monthly membership. We're looking at having a grow group. If you have at least 2 crews or more, it's only $139 a month. It's bi-weekly Zoom calls where we get to sharpen one another. It is a Facebook group. It is webinars. It is extra bonus content through the Green Up Academy. And it is access to me through Voxer, where we talk, discuss anything you need. I'm literally getting messages right now from my guys who are having questions about hiring people. Right now, Jacob Rasmussen, one of our boys, is talking about when to pressure wash off their mowers. So we do a lot of community there. So if you're interested, I would really appreciate it. Hit me up at alex@thegreenupacademy.com via email. We have about 6 spots in the second group that we're starting. So again, 2 crews or more. If you want to join our other group and you're more of a solo guy or just a couple employees, that group's great for you. Another update, just so you guys know, if this is of interest or if you have anyone that you could put me in touch with, I do a lot of consulting for home service trade businesses, and I've just launched the Omega agency. If you guys ever noticed, all my companies are Christian themes. So I had Trifecta, which was for Trinity. I had Beacon Sports that I just kind of slowed and shut down. We're rebranded to Omega, the Beacon of Light for Christ. What else? What else do I have? Oh, Pure Marketing, which is another thing we're about to announce. I'll tell you in a second. So everything's Christian themed, so sue me. I don't care. But Omega Agency, if you know any business owners that are not necessarily green industry that need some marketing, sales, consulting, team development stuff, I've had a lot of companies reach out asking me for advice, so that is the response to that. So would love that, and would love to give you a $100 referral if it turns to a customer. So let me know. Today we're going to be talking about cash flow forecast, how to maintain accurate cash flow forecast. So just be prepared. I've got 4 really good tips for you guys on that. The last kind of announcement I had, though, is a good one. I want to share this with you. I think this would be good insight. So I've had my full-time thing that we're focused on now is the Green Up Academy and Pure Marketing Agency, which has been my marketing company for the last couple of years. We soft launched in 2022. Our first full year was 2023. So we're 15 months in, got a staff of 5, and we focus on, that's what we're doing. I'm about to announce. We're rebranding it right now. So when I launched it, I was fully focused on my landscaping company, and I've learned a lot about branding, messaging, voice, personality, target customer. So we are excited to announce, and you'll see it online if you guys want to go. I'm not going to tell you the name yet, but we're rebranding it right now. And so join us, journey with us, follow us at Pure Marketing, which will be rebranded soon on Instagram and stuff. But we're going to be blue collar focused. So any service trades, green industry, companies that are hardworking, we would love to serve you. We do SEO, websites, full service social media management. So please give us a shout if we can help you there. But today we're going to be talking about how to maintain accurate cash flow forecast, guys. And through my group of guys through the Green Up Academy, I learn a lot about things that people struggle with. And I'd say cash flow is probably one of the ones I get the most. In the era that we're in, with inflation, with rising costs, with equipment just going through the roof. I mean, I just saw the other day where just a regular old 48-inch like standard mowers getting to be 15, 16 grand on most brands. I mean, when I first got in the industry, guys, I had a Gravely 48-inch Pro Turn, 2017. So when I bought my first mower, I think that thing brand new was like $6,800, and now I think it would cost about 15 grand. So crazy, and so it's really difficult to maintain cash flow. And when we say cash flow, I don't want to assume everyone knows. It means the rate at which you can get money into your company, that it flows the business dealings of your company. So receiving funds, money in the bank, invoices out, getting paid, all that stuff. So today we're going to be talking about 4 ways to maintain accurate cash flow forecasts, or just maintain cash flow. And the first one is forecasting. So let's jump into point number 1, guys. Regularly update and maintain accurate cash flow forecasts to anticipate periods of surplus or shortfall in cash. We want you to consider factors such as seasonal fluctuations, payment terms with suppliers, upcoming expenses like rent, payroll, taxes, stuff like that. So point number 1, forecasting. Okay, let's use Bob's Lawn Care. Okay, Bob's Lawn Care's revenue is projected to be $500,000. Okay, if you're Bob, you've got to sit down and forecast for the year. Okay, $50,000 is roughly $41,000 a month in revenue. Okay, you got to sit down and strategically plan out your financials, your cash flow, forecasting. So, okay, well, I know 20%'s got to be earmarked for taxes. So 20% of 40 grand is, well, let me do the math quick in my head. I think that's about 8 grand. Okay, so boom, spoken for. Then payroll is going to be 10. Okay, you've got to write down everything. It's already got its own spot. You already know what it's going to cost. You have customers are going to be late. You have net 30, net 45, so you got to forecast all that. I like to tell people that you should have a really nice cash reserve because of cash flow concerns / issues / it's just the nature of the beast. I've used this analogy on the show before, guys, and to you guys who I talk to, is your business could be awesome. It could be the Lamborghini of landscape companies, but if you don't have gas in the car, it ain't going nowhere. Meaning you could have awesome apartment complex contracts, and you could have 100 lake houses that you maintain, $500 a month. You could have every dream customer, every awesome piece of equipment, everything. But if you don't have the money to make it to the next week, what's the point of having it all? So cash flow is king, man. I just posted this week. If you guys aren't a part of our group, Green Industry Business Pros, I really want you to jump in there. It's our Facebook group where we just chat, landscape stuff. I think we got 500 people in there. We're trying to grow it and get to 1,000. So, but that's what I said this yesterday. Cash is king. Cash flow is the kingdom. If you know, you know. Meaning that, yeah, cash is king, but without cash flow, the kingdom falls apart. So, I might get a shirt made of that. I love that. But anyway, so it's very important, guys. Forecasting. Consider factors such as your seasonal, right? A lot of you guys deal with seasonal issues where you're like, well, money's great for 8 months, and then the last 4 months of the year, it's wintertime. How am I supposed to cash flow the wintertime? You gotta expect it. Don't be surprised when things pop up. You shouldn't be surprised. You've been in, you've either been in business long enough, or you need to have a mentor to tell you how to roll it. So that's the first one, guys. Maintain accurate cash flow forecasts. Number 2 on how to handle your cash flow in your business. Implement strict credit and payment policies. Let me kind of read this to you. Establish clear credit and payment policies for your customers. Ensure payments are on time, guys. Offer incentives for early payment and penalties for late payment. So incentives for early payment, like I had one of our guys in our crew yesterday, Campbell, was chatting to me about this. He asked if he should give a discount to someone who wanted to prepay for the year. I said, I used to give 5-6%. Hey, you want to prepay for the year? 5% off your bill. Offer incentives. You'll take that cash flow 5%. For all you know, you could lose them as a customer in 10 months. So let's take the guarantee and give them 5% off. Consider implementing payment methods such as electronic invoicing, which a lot of you guys, I'm a big Jobber guy. This show is sponsored by Jobber. You can do it through Jobber, through QuickBooks, whatever. So get the card on file, automated reminders to streamline the billing process. So I was talking to another guy this week, and I know a lot of you guys probably have the same kind of struggle. It's like, well, a lot of my customers don't want to pay with credit cards. And, okay, that's fine. But what you should do at minimum, in my opinion, just my opinion, so apologize. If you don't like it, too bad. It's fine. I'm just playing. But make sure you get card on file, and you don't have to use it. But if they're over 15 days or 10 days, whatever you determine late, then you're going to charge that card on file. Just have it as a last case resort, because you don't want to be chasing money. Oh, the check's in the mail, or it's under the grill, or I mailed it to Zimbabwe so it would come to you faster. Whatever the weird excuses you get or stories. Which, by the way, I would love to hear if you guys are having mail issues. We've had a lot of people in our academy saying they're having huge mail issues. So make sure you're establishing clear credit and payment policies, guys. And if you're looking at that stuff on the Green Up Academy and our resources, which I want to highlight, we just redid the resources and made them really beautiful, really nice looking. So you guys go check those out. They're really, really cool. They're going to help your business tremendously. But we have some of those payment policies and handbooks and all that stuff. So number 2, implement strict credit and payment policies. Cash flow. It'll help you so much. I think we've talked to you guys about this. Like we had at Trifecta, we made people pay on the first of the month. We had all their ACH, and we clicked a button, and all the residentials paid the first of the month. We get a big 35 grand, 45 grand, boom, hit at the beginning of the month, which helped cash flow a ton. So big fan of that, okay? Let me take a minute here, guys, as we're in the middle of our 4 points. Shout out to Jobber. If you guys have not implemented a CRM into your company, a lot of you guys use Yardbook. A lot of you guys, want the free one. But in my opinion, it's worth paying the money to get the best. And I believe that Jobber, in terms of user friendliness, professional, has every feature you can imagine. Jobber is the GOAT. I've used and worked with companies, others. There's some other good ones out there for, you hardscape guys and stuff like that. There's some other options. But if you're a lawn and landscape company, Jobber's the way to go. They got some really good new features even for email marketing, stuff like that. So make sure you guys check out Jobber. If you go on Instagram, go on our link. We've got a code that will save you a ton of money. Free trial, save you a ton of money. So make sure you support us and support Jobber. And go check it out. Give it a try. Give it a try. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I use Jobber for my whole company, my 5-6 years in business, except my first year. So shout out to Jobber. They're always doing a great job. All right, point number 3, manage inventory and expenses wisely. This is probably the simplest one, but maybe most important. I'll read you a couple notes here. You need to optimize your inventory management practices to avoid overstocking or understocking. Huge, which can tie up valuable cash. Negotiate payment terms with suppliers and vendors to improve your cash flow, such as extended payment terms or discounts for early payment. I used to do this all the time with our fertilization supplier. Is if I bought a pallet, I wanted 10% off, and they would regularly do that for me. You need to regularly review and analyze your expenses to identify areas where costs can be reduced or optimized. So, okay, manage your inventory and expenses wisely. This, again, sounds simple, but when you're in the heat of growing season, you guys all know this, like it just gets wonky. Like you feel like you lose track of time. And you're like, next thing you know, it's 6 months in, you're overspending, you've got way too much weed in your string, way too much gas cans, way too many gas cans, way too much fertilizer, whatever the case may be. Every month, at the end of the month, or the first week of the next month, excuse me, you should look at what you spent the previous month. You should get a report, look at your bookkeeper, get with your bookkeeper, and look at your expenses. So I love this one. Optimize your inventory management practices to avoid overstock or understocking. Because another thing we do is we'll have not enough, so we have to go to the nearest place really quick and overpay on stuff, right? So if you had bought it wholesale or bulk, you could have saved 20%, but then you got to run to Lowe's and get it now, and you're paying too much. So it's really important, guys, to manage your inventory and expenses wisely for cash flow purposes. So you'll be shocked at how much you can save by regularly reviewing and analyzing your expenses. So that's number 3. And then last but not least, number 4, this is kind of a tricky one, is explore financing options. Okay, so you guys know I'm a debt-free, let's do cash guy, but there are a couple instances, I'd say over the years, there's a couple things that I understand financing. I'm not going to say I agree, but I understand. And I'm okay with in some ways. I don't like it, but I get it. One is a mortgage on a house, put 20% down, get into a house as long as the house doesn't have you, okay? In business, the mortgage, so to speak, would be big equipment. So MT100s, skid steers, tractors. I think because of how much they cost to rent versus buy, like it's one of the only things that makes sense to buy other than rent. Like, man, I know a skid steer in our rental place here in town is like $3,000 a month to rent a skid steer. Well, guess how much it costs on a 36-month, no interest? It's about 2%. It comes out to 2 to 3% interest when you actually look at the fees and stuff. That payment's about half. It's about half. So $1,500 to $1,600 versus $300 to $3,200. So it actually comes out to where financing it makes more sense. Now, if you make sure you don't get a personal guarantee for that unit. That's where like the business can go bankrupt and you can just turn in the machine. I feel like it's a pretty good move in a lot of ways. I was just talking to one of our Journey coaching program guys. If you guys don't know, I've got one spot open for Journey coaching program, which is where I walk hand in hand with you as a fractional CEO, where I help you, operations and vision for your company and stuff. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But I was walking through with Shane, who's a really impressive guy in our program, and he's got on track for $1 million business at age 23, and he's got a huge cash. He's great. He has tons of cash, but we were talking about this. He's like, man, I need a skid steer. And the rule of thumb, guys, is you can get something as long as you're going to use it 80% of the time. So if that machine's running 3 out of 4 days, you're good to go on that. But exploring financing options is point number 4. Exploring it to bring short-term cash flow gaps or fund growth opportunities. Consider options such as business lines of credit. Don't agree with that. I'm reading off of a little survey, little article. Small business loans, invoice financing. I don't agree with a lot of that stuff, but I think that equipment is okay for bridging it, being creative with financing. But like, man, I've been seeing this a lot with people who are just super like poor. All those like afterpay and stuff, like, that's so gross. Don't do that. Don't do that, guys. The one thing I was going to bring up to end this point was if you want to offer financing to your customers, that's something that's newer, in the last couple years. You got, I think it's WiseTech and Hearth and stuff like that. I think it's interesting to look into. If your customers want to do that, you should offer it to them. That's not your deal. So yeah, those are the 4. Those are the 4, guys. In this episode, we try to keep it 20 minutes. We're right there. Those are 4 really good things to help you with cash flow. I know cash flow is one of the most stressful things in business. I mean, you look at your account and you're like, gosh, do I have enough? Is it going to make it? Got to make it the next week. I get the invoice. Like, it's crazy what can happen. So hopefully this has been super helpful for you guys. And it's why I'm here. I love doing these podcasts. I love sharing, anything I've got, insights. Got a couple guests lined up in the next couple weeks to chat with as well. But guys, if you like this episode, I'd appreciate a review on Apple Podcasts. And just thank you so much for the support always. Check out the Green Up Academy, anything we can do for you. And follow us along as we rebrand Pure Marketing. Can't wait to show you guys that. Go follow the account so you can see what we're doing there. It's going to be pretty fun. And we'll see you next time here on the Green Up Academy podcast, where we help you level up your lawn and landscape business. Thanks, guys.